What is up, guys? Welcome to the 20th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast.
Wait, hold it. That was bad.
Swap it. Both
Dang
of you
it!
swap.
Every time.
Yep, Molly too, swap.
Molly swap.
There we go.
It was like that.
There you go. The 20th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast. Let's get into it. As always, NASCAR first. It was, again, a rain-filled weekend. When is it not? Gotta be honest. But the, for Xfinity, practice and qualifying were canceled due to rain. They tried their hardest to get them out there to at least do qualifying, just so Jade Buford didn't have to go home, because he was the only car. There were, was it 39 cars and only 38 spots, I believe it was. And because Jade Buford was in a car that only competes in a couple races, that's why they had been sent home. But it, with the with practice and qualifying canceled, it was Cole Custer.
He got the pole.
What got pole due to the metric that they go by. But Parker Retzloff went to the rear for unapproved adjustments and also had to do a stop and go penalty. Yeah, I heard a little bit of insight on that, but I'm not gonna talk about it. But the race time was moved up just to try to get the race going a little sooner. And so the green flag was at like, I want to say like 309, I think it was. But they did go on to the wet weather tires. And that was, they put on the wet weather tires for the start of the race. And I don't think there's very many instances that we have done the wet weather tires on ovals, especially because with this specific track we had the wet weather tires, but they could not run in the rain. It could only be a damp track because their package for this weekend did not include the mud flaps, did not include the windshield wiper, so they were not equipped for racing in the rain. So the track had to at least be somewhat dry to where the spray was not affecting the driver's sight. But it was the first time that the rain tires were on in an oval for the Xfinity Series. And the first start right out of the gate. Matt DiBenedetto, I guess, missed a shift, or the car wouldn't go, and so he stopped up the field, and we thought there was going to be a huge wreck at the immediate start of this race. But they ran about 12 laps, or 10 to 12 laps, and brought out a competition caution. And so at that point in time, they believed that the track was dry. That's what NASCAR deemed the track to be. So all of the lead lap cars put on slicks. The first caution for cause, Patrick Emmerling came to a stop in turn 2, which he did not get rolling fast enough, so they brought out the caution. The next caution for cause, our boy Parker Kligerman got a little love tap from AJ Allmendinger, and if you guys heard the audio, in that, which I believe they actually, with Parker for New Hampshire, they had an open mic that was recording the entire time, whether he pressed the radio button or not. So the TV crew the next day were able to play back some of his audio, and he was not very happy when
I was
that.
gonna say, I thought that I saw that they posted his. I think that I saw that they posted his audio on Twitter, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. Uh, Whoops. But we also know Parker out of the car is very smiley, very happy, like very personable. But like in the car, you make him mad. That's a completely different person. We don't know him.
we don't know him. He's definitely not our bestie in that point in time.
But ultimately, Sam Mayer wins stage one, um, and it goes caution free for stage two. Christopher Bell goes out and wins stage two. Um, and then we have in lap 101 Armani Williams spins in turn four, bringing out a caution. And then it was green until Armani Williams spun again, bringing out another caution. Um, so rough day for Armani Williams. Um, it teammates. I don't really know who you could, if there's even somebody at fault for this. Um, Chandler Smith spins from fifth, off like the rear quarter of Sheldon Creed. So I don't really know who you'd fault for that. Like it's either Sheldon came down on him or Chandler went up. So like he, I don't know who you would fault there. Cause like okay, so it stayed green after the restart where Justin Bonsignor spins, um, and like it takes all like Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Weatherman, and Alex Bowman. Takes all of them with them. They all sustain damage. A couple laps later, Haley Deegan and Nathan Bird wreck in turn three, um, which I'm pretty sure Nathan Bird came out with like a statement saying that like it wasn't Haley's fault or something like that. Is that is that accurate information? Do you guys know?
I have no idea.
I can't remember exactly.
I haven't seen anything or heard anything. Normally I see it on Twitter and I haven't.
We thought that was gonna be the end. We thought, but Mason Massey spins in turn two, putting it into overtime. Cole Custer is in the lead, right? Christopher Bell hits him with a last lap pass and wins the race. Sheldon Creed gets his 10th runner up finish in his career. He is yet to win a race. So that is the record that he is moving up. But ultimately, I know the girls aren't happy. The girls don't like Christopher Bell.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. I don't think he should have won the race, actually. Low key, they should have just called the race, if I'm being completely honest. Well, they were under the red flag for two. They were under the red flag for 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah, you're talking about the
You're
cup,
you're
right?
you're talking the cup
Oh,
race. We're talking
We're, talk-
Xfinity.
we're talking about
girl,
Slow back.
wait,
Slow down. Slow down.
hang on, wait, no,
Roll back.
yeah, dude, I don't
Christopher
even. Okay, dude,
Xfinity race.
I don't, dude. Okay, actually, low key, I don't remember. I got the Xfinity and the confused because one, when I was watching the Xfinity race, I was at a birthday party. So I also had to try and mingle with everybody. That was not my cup of tea.
I mean, to
I
be
don't
fair,
remember.
Christopher Bell did sweep the weekend, so I guess it is like that's where your mix-up is.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I could just cry. That's how I feel. It was terrible.
But as for the cup race, let's get into that.
I
Um,
kind of remember that.
so their um their qualifying was canceled due to rain. They did get to go out and practice, um, where they did one full group for 30 minutes, um, which I think it actually only lasted about 15 due to rain. Um, and then they also ended up moving up the cup race um, to 206 because, again, rain. One thing I was really kind of irritated about going back to Xfinity, the broadcast, you normally get to see the countdown to green or the race day, whatever, right? They started the broadcast with the cars rolling off of pit road. I
They
was
did the same thing up.
like, I'm irritated about that. Because, like, that's one of the things that I like. Like, yes, I love cars driving around in circles, okay? But I like seeing what goes on on pit road before the race. Like, that's why I'm constantly running around whenever I'm at the track. Why I'm, like, all up in everybody's business on pit road, okay? Like, I want to know what's going on. But they did that for both the Cup and Xfinity races, and it was so irritating. You didn't get to hear any of the pre-race ceremonies, like the the Star Spangled Banner, or like nothing. Like, you didn't even get them to start engines, or at least not for Xfinity. I'm not too sure, but I can't remember about Cup. But like, you didn't get any of that, which was irritating for me, in my opinion. But anyway, um, Chase Elliott got the pole, with them canceling qualifying, which I'm kind of confused. Where?
It's because how Kyle Larson's last week finished, since he finished a terrible like what that kind of most pretty much dead last, it messed up his ranking.
Okay, so Chase Elliott was basically next in line for that. So, which is how? Okay.
Got it. I was like, that makes no sense, but now that makes sense now.
But the first stage was um was caution free. Christopher Bell won stage 1. There were green flag pit stops in stage 2. The first caution for cause was at lap 142 when Daniel Hemrick spins, bringing out the caution. And under that caution, Alex Bowman actually comes to pit road, which with engine failure. He had smoke coming out of his exhaust pipes, and which I believe that's when his day ended. I don't believe he went back out after that.
He didn't.
And so they get back going. Noah Gragson and Kyle Busch make contact, and it sends. I Noah didn't touch the wall.
He saved it.
Yeah.
But Kyle Busch was definitely very upset about this. I can't remember. Did he hit the wall?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure his day ended after that. He was very upset. He is not having a good season in RCR. And so he's not in a very good mood for it.
No, his day didn't end until after the rain delay.
Okay. Well, we're getting there. Wait a second. Oh, they made a mistype on the app. Denny Hamlin, let's see, wins stage 2. And when they get back going, Chase Elliott wrecks from 11th due to Joe Logano locking up going into the turn. Then we have Corey LaJoie wrecks after contact with Ryan Preece. And then we have Martin Truex wrecks after contact with Brad Keselowski. And Kyle Busch wrecks again from 24th, bringing out the caution. And at this moment, rain brings the cars to pit roads, and the red flag comes out. And at this moment in time, it is 4:34 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't crank the engines back up until 6:43. And they put the wet weather tires on. Which some drivers did state that they could have went out earlier, like sooner than that. And said that with the track being even wetter would have been fine for them to go out. But the red flag lasted exactly 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 49 seconds. And they were on a time crunch. New Hampshire does not have lights. So they could not run this race at after a certain time. Or else the track would not be lit. You know that race cars don't need headlights. Well, in this case, they would have needed headlights.
True facts. True facts.
But they got going again. Kyle Busch wrecks under caution during the pace laps. And this is when he just stops. He stops in, I believe, the backstretch. It's either the backstretch or coming out of turn 4. Gets out of the car, just is done. Like,
because his car broke. Because they hit the wall so hard and his car broke.
Was it a toe link? I think it might have been a toe link. But yeah, he was having so many troubles. Like, I'm not a Kyle Busch fan, but like still sympathy, like, for even.
Well, you know it's sad because Samantha has literally posted on Twitter like, this is not Kyle's year. Like, she even posted that saying, this is not his year. I don't know what's happening. I was like, yikers. I mean, I'm not a Kyle Busch fan either, but I low-key actually,
bad.
I kind of feel bad for him because, like, you know, he went to RCR and he was winning over Austin Dillon last year.
Mm-hmm.
And now this year,
what happened this year?
And now this year, he's like pretty much DNFing out of every single race about. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm not a Kyle Busch fan, but like, kind of feel bad for him because if you just looking at like last year, him winning races to him like now, and now he can't even finish the race because he either wrecks out
engine problems, wrecks out, like,
or it's either he wrecks out, something like breaks, or someone else wrecks him out.
Yeah. So
kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Yeah, no.
And the thing is, like, he even said it himself. Like, in the fight with Ricky Stenhouse, he says, "We both suck." Like, what? So, Kyle Busch...
I still love that.
Kyle Busch knows that he's not having a good season.
I know.
But they still stay under caution because of that. And within that same caution, Corey LaJoie also spins under caution. But finally, the green flag was waved at 6:57 to get the rest of the race going, and Tyler Reddick was in the lead. And Ross Chastain spins in turn 4 from 6th, bringing out another caution. And then we have Corey LaJoy spins again from 30th. I believe that was his third time. Either third or fourth time in this race. Like, so Corey was also having some issues. Then there, which I'm a little sad about. Let's see, was this the last? No, it was not the last caution. But there was an incident with Austin Dillon, Noah Gragson, Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, and Austin Cindric. It was, I think it started with Eric Jones. And then, like, what they showed on TV was the Bubba Wallace, Austin Dillon, Noah Gragson. So you really had no idea what happened with Austin Cindric or John Hunter Nemechek because they weren't in the, like, camera view of what they were showing with Noah and them. But yeah. And then we had another unfortunate event with Carson Hocevar spinning from 25th that brought out the caution. And so the way they had to do this, you were allowed to pit, but you could not change tires. Which a lot of the teams, for the first pit stop after the restart, the teams thought that the way they said it was you could change tires, but you had to be on the wets, which was incorrect. So the cars that did put on a new set of wet tires had to come back down pit road and put the old set back onto the car. So that's basically how the pit stops went. You would come onto pit road, and they didn't do competition pit stops, at least for the majority of them. So the way that you went onto pit road was the position that you would come off pit road. So you could not gain or lose positions on pit road, just for the safety of the crew members, because the pit road was still wetter than the track. But they get going again, and you have I can't remember exactly if Ryan Blaney was involved in this, but Michael McDowell spun. I don't know, did Ryan pick up any damage from that?
I think so. It didn't end his day, but
Yeah, because was this the race that he was, like, him and Joey were running up front, or was that last race? I'm confusing all of them.
Dude, low-key, I don't remember this race literally at all.
if Blaney didn't get spun out, I think the end would have come to Bell and Blaney.
Yeah.
Because Blaney have
Oh, go ahead.
a really good car. And Michael went down to a line, I guess that wasn't really there or something, and it just got loose and was underneath Blaney and just spun out. And Blaney was above him and just took Blaney out with him.
So unfortunate for our boy Ryan, but they got back going, and at lap 300. Keep in mind this race was 301 laps. Okay, on lap 300, Brad Keselowski spins, bringing out the caution, sending this race into overtime. So you have Christopher Bell leading the race. Josh Berry was originally supposed to be on the front row, but he gives up second to go, I believe,
behind Christopher Bell.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was inside or outside. But you have Chase Briscoe, who starts on the front row. So, you have Chase Briscoe, who is sitting here, needs a win. And you have Christopher Bell, who is comfortably sitting in the playoffs. So how is this gonna go? Which actually, we'll talk about that news in a second, because it's kind of funny that these two ended up being the two on the front row at the end of this race. But ultimately, Christopher Bell wins at New Hampshire, sweeps the weekend. So he wins both the Xfinity and the Cup races. Which the funny thing with this was, before the weekend, Christopher Bell was being interviewed and talking about his teammates. And he started going, he's like, yeah, when Chase gets to the 19, catches himself, and he goes, literally the look of dread on his face. He's like, oh my god, I just majorly screwed up. It turns bright red, like tomato red, knows that he messed up. And I wish Chase Briscoe could have been, like, in the vicinity at that moment, and that's how they would have announced it. Like, just... But people are saying Christopher Bell is the Tom Holland of NASCAR because of this. Which, honestly, I feel like Christopher felt so bad. Like, it was an honest mistake. Like, because in my head, like, if I'm sitting here talking about my teammates and I know that Chase Briscoe is going to be my teammate, like, it's
Joe and Joe Gibbs was holding off on announcing it, but then after he said that, they had to say, we have an announcement coming so-and-so morning.
Yeah.
They weren't going to announce. They weren't. Yeah,
Yes.
They had their announcement today. They weren't going to have the announcement. They were waiting to hold off on it. But after Bell did that, they had to. The funny thing that I think is that Kyle Larson literally tweeted saying, "Oh, we're gonna miss Chase," like at Chase Elliott. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna miss Chase on the 9 team. Hope everything goes well at the 19." And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. He was like,
I think that's
Chase was going to the Joe Gibbs. He's like, well, I miss you. I hope you do great in that 19 car.
I think that was funny. And then it's funny that even like during that, because Briscoe didn't even know that Bell did that because he had his phone turned off.
No, he was like at a dirt track and he said he had absolutely no service.
I know. He had like no service, so he didn't know what the heck was going on until he got service back, and he was like, what is happening? And then he realized. But I think it's funny that when they interviewed Chase Elliott, he played along with it. And when I told my dad that, he was like, there's no way that Chase played along with it. I'm like, oh no, he played along with it like he was going to the 19 because he just did it. I think that's funny that not only was Larson playing with it, Elliott was playing with it. And then when they interviewed Briscoe, he was kind of like trying not to say anything, like, yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Because even Chase Elliott said, like, in that little press conference thing, he was like, I've heard, like, I'm starting up with my own team. He's like, I didn't know that was happening.
Briscoe
happening.
The clip with Briscoe popped up of where he was like, man, if that 9 car is open, I'm gonna have to make a call over to Mr. Hendrick.
Yes. I was like, that's funny.
Like, Briscoe even said, like, when he got service back, he got a text from Christopher Bell. He's like, man, I messed up. It's like, I'm sorry, I messed up.
But I love that today that Bell got to announce that Briscoe was going to the 19 car. They're like, well, you already did it, so you might as well just actually. I love how he was like, I can officially now announce. Like,
I like how they did it because when they said like the driver interview, that the little video that they did, Christopher Bell at the end. He was like, "Hey boss, you know that secret that I wasn't supposed to say anything about?"
I think that video is hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh. It's so funny. Bass Pro Shops is still staying on as a sponsor for Briscoe for the 19. Which I thought that picture was cute. I think it's cute because I think it's funny how Brooks was there all dressed up in his little Bass Pro Shop stuff.
Andy Petrie, one of the vice presidents at RCR, is retiring effective immediately from RCR.
Is that what that news thing was?
From RCR?
Because RCR tweeted that like little article thing. I didn't actually read it.
Yeah, I bet that was what it was.
I'm like, I didn't read it.
Let's see. Frankie Muniz is going to be driving for Rayum Brothers Racing in a truck series for 4 races in Nashville, Bristol, which he's actually going to be in the ARCA car for Michigan, and then Kansas. And so the situation going on with
not know that.
Going on with Stuart Haas is Gene Haas of Stuart Haas is going to be keeping one of the Cup charters and still going to be running a 2-car Xfinity team. And so it'll still be out of the current Stuart Haas shop. I could not think of that word for some reason.
It's going to be called Haas Factory Team.
I had thought it was gonna have to do with like the Haas Automation, like Haas CNC, whatever company that is that they run to. But it's gonna be Joe Custer that will run the operation. They haven't mentioned, at least not that I've seen, any of the drivers, sponsors, or manufacturers yet.
The big person that'd probably be in that Cup car would be Cole, since it's gonna be Joe Custer.
Since it's his dad.
Yeah. So that's what we think. But if that's the case, if Haas is keeping one of the charters, Front Row has already obtained one of those charters for next year. The other one, I would believe going to Trackhouse, and my guess is the last one is potentially 2311. Attempting to get that last charter. So we shall see. MBM Motorsports, Josh Bilicki is going to be running a Cup car, the number 66 at Chicago. And on the 27 hauler in Xfinity for Jeb Burton, their hauler was actually damaged on the way to New Hampshire. So they had to repair the front end of the hauler. Something that doesn't really fall into any of the sports that we talk about, but I'll do like a two little IMSA segment. There was a big crash during the Mustang Challenge at Watkins Glen. It was stuck throttle. Luckily, the driver walked away under his own power, but also Penske won at Watkins Glen. In their IMSA program. Matt DiBenedetto was disqualified from New Hampshire because 3 of the lug nuts on the right rear were loose. Unfortunately. You had a sassy Kyle Larson on the radio this past weekend.
I haven't even watched Radioactivity yet, but I know they posted it.
And that was kind of funny. People were like, "How much is Kyle Larson gonna get fined for cussing out his spotter?"
I mean, I saw a clip from the Happy like podcast from Harvick's podcast, and Harvick was like, if this was my spotter said that to me, I would have said the exact same thing.
Okay, I haven't watched it, but I saw somebody post what Larson said to them, and I was like, oh, okay.
Because basically what his spotter said was like, you know why Denny Hamlin runs you like that every week? It's because you let him. And then that's when Larson said what he said.
It's true.
That's what I was about to say. It's true. Like,
Well, here's the thing: is the way that Denny Hamlin runs literally anybody. Nobody does anything about it unless they get so ticked off and then they do something about it. But you can't really do anything about it because then NASCAR is going to be watching you, and then if you do it intentionally, they're going to be like, "That's a fine," and
yeah,
you're like,
the retaliation, thing.
you're like,
Like,
never, and never mind the fact that Denny Hamlin just gets to do whatever he wants because he's NASCAR's golden boy. True facts. I mean, Denny Hamlin's done a lot of things, and there's some things he doesn't get caught on. So
I saw something so funny that people were like, "Bro, Chase Briscoe is gonna go to the 19, and he's gonna have 3 championships here soon, and he's probably gonna get them before Denny even gets his first."
that's true facts. I mean, honestly, I think Briscoe going to the 19, it's definitely gonna be different because he won't be in a Ford anymore. He's gonna be in a Toyota. But at the same time, if you look at it, Joe Gibbs Racing is running up at the front, and Stuart Haas is actually, what am I talking about? All the Fords are on the struggle bus, including Stuart Haas. Like it's not very well over there. So honestly, I could see it. I feel like Briscoe can get a win. Briscoe
Like,
will get a win in the 19. Actually, multiple wins in the 19, probably.
like the only two Stuart Haas cars that really do anything is pretty much Noah and pretty much now Barry. Barry's running up in the top, like
Yeah.
almost every week. And then the Penske cars are doing good. Like you got 2 Penske cars in the playoffs right now.
That's true.
Joey's the only one that needs.
Mm-hmm.
A win.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh, that's true.
But
And you got Kozlowski that's already in the playoffs. That's another Ford. See why you got like 3 Fords.
Briscoe just needs to get a win because he's been
Busher?
or Busher, yeah. That's what I
See,
meant. Because he's been screwed out of so many freaking wins already this year.
Both, I think I'm pretty sure both Busher and Kozlowski are in the playoffs. Are they not?
Busher
Are they?
hasn't won yet.
I thought
Yeah,
He was the first Ford to win. Then it was Cindric, and then it was Blaney.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Busher
Busher is just like right below the cut line. I don't think he's that many points out. He might be. I don't know how many points he's out. He could be quite a bit of points out.
He's
I know Joey.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Joey is terrible though. Isn't he so far down on the list?
He's 15th in the playoffs.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Coming out of New Hampshire, he's just above the cut line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well.
But so Leland Honeyman, his car chief was suspended for Nashville due to an improperly installed rear axle that came apart at Loudon. And something I just saw that Molly sent in the group chat. Joseph Newgarden is gonna be at Nashville this weekend. This might be my only chance to meet Joseph Newgarden. I'm hoping. like, he's an honorary race official. But, like, I'm hoping, because I'm not going to be there for Sunday. I'm hoping that he is going to be walking around somewhere on either Friday or Saturday, which he will, obviously, he's going to be there on Sunday. But with Cup stuff happening, he could potentially be there on Saturday. So I'm hoping. I want to meet Joseph Newgarden so bad. Please. Gosh, that's probably the best news I've seen all day. I'm gonna go to an IndyCar race. I wanna meet all my IndyCar drivers, and just Newgarden is one of those drivers.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, alright. Do we have any hold on. Let me check the Instagram. Let me check the Instagram group chat. Something I guess you could classify this as NASCAR. Tony Stewart's having a kid.
They're having a boy.
Like, I don't.
They're having a boy.
Yeah, like, does Tony Stewart have any kids?
No.
Is this is
That's
his first kid?
That's why Leah stepped down from drag racing and Tony took over, because they were trying to have a family, because they ain't getting any younger. They're only getting older.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason why Tony's selling Stuart Haas, is because he's taking over Leah's drag racing. That, and he really just wants to just do drag racing and not worry about like NASCAR anymore, because he doesn't like NASCAR anymore, since he could never get Kyle Larson in the Ford, since he got banned from being in like Ford.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah. They're having a boy though, because this is their first kid, because they ain't getting any younger.
Now, you know that kid is gonna be one of the most talented motorsports racers.
Well, yeah.
There.
Let's see. You had a dad who raced in NASCAR, won championships.
Dirt. Like any type
I
of
know.
dirt racing.
I know. And then they can do dirt racing, drag racing. Man.
Like NASCAR, like sprint cars, late models.
That kid,
you name it.
That kid is probably gonna be
IndyCar.
Like that kid is probably gonna give Kyle Larson a run for his money. Yeah. When he gets older.
Tony Kanaan tried to start some beef on Twitter, and Scott McLaughlin came back and was like, TK, if you're looking for beef, you won't find any better than Good Ranchers, which is Scott's sponsor. And then he's like, I'll send you a box. Because Tony Kanaan tried to like make a comment of the push to pass, like the stuff that happened in St. Pete. Bro, that happened like 4 months ago. Like, get on with it, you know? They're so kind of a little bit in between IndyCar and Formula One. There's a rumor that Logan Sargent has signed for Prima in IndyCar, which we spoke before that Prima is going to be getting into IndyCar and running 2 cars, which that's normally what happens to like previous F1 drivers like Roman Grosjean, Marcus Ericsson, like there's a couple more that have ran in the field, but a lot of them, if they cannot stay in Formula One, or even from Formula 2, if they do not move up to Formula 1, they end up moving into IndyCar, which is why Marcus Armstrong is over here in IndyCar. Like, let's see, who else has come from Formula 2? Christian Lundgaard has come from Formula. So it's quite a pipeline that ends up happening between these two sports. So we'll be looking out for that. And so they're oh, hold on. Let me talk about the IndyCar race before I make that comment, because that's Formula One. But okay, so the IndyCar race, quick rundown. Alex Palou was on pole. I made the comment that the Pride car was on pole for Pride Month because they have rainbows all over the DHL car that Alex Palou drives. But a couple things to note that happened during the race. Scott McLaughlin went through the gravel and got a bollard stuck on his front wing. The 51 was in a big crash. Nolan Siegel crashed, which is also the driver that has been signed for the rest of the season in the McLaren car that David Malukas had, or his old seat. Christian Lundgaard sent Marcus Armstrong into the wall, which was very unfortunate. And then Christian Lundgaard actually gets airtime in the corkscrew, misses the corkscrew, jumps the hill, goes down the gravel, which I'm pretty sure he got a penalty for because it's like gaining an advantage off track. So I'm pretty sure he got a penalty for that. And then with 9 to go, Graham Rahal and, oh gosh, Kip, I can't remember his first name, but Simpson had a big crash. And then 2 to go, you had Joseph Newgarden end up in the gravel. But ultimately, it was Alex Palou winning at Laguna Seca, Colton Herta in second, and Alexander Rossi in third. Which, if we went by the Formula One rules, I would have had second place right, and Lakota would have had third place right.
Molly, didn't you have the
Palou.
first place?
No, wait. Did you choose Alex Palou?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
She
then
did.
we got it.
So, we got
really
it.
did it.
We literally have it. We have 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, go team. We had it right. In the right order.
But yes, so that's how the IndyCar weekend went down. As for Formula One, they were in Barcelona. What I was about to talk about. Carlos Sainz posted something on Instagram, posted an Instagram story, said, "See you in 2025." Talking about Catalunya, the circuit. So everybody is like, oh my gosh, he's not jobless. So we believe that he is signed somewhere and that he has not announced it yet. But let's get into the rundown of the weekend. And let's see how fast I can go through this. FP1, we had Oliver Behrman running in FP1 for Haas. A lot of the drivers were complaining about issues with their cars. And Max actually took a new power unit this weekend, and it is the last one that he's allocated for the entire season. So meaning if he wants to take another power unit for the rest of the season, it will have penalties following it. Charles Leclerc had clutch problems, but it ended with Lando P1, Max P2, and Carlos P3. For FP2, we had Lewis Hamilton as P1. Like, the Mercedes were coming back. Then we had Carlos P2 and Lando P3. In FP4, Lance Stroll was actually complaining of knee pain. I don't know if he's had any injuries to that lately, or if that is just something that happens. But you had Oscar. He kind of kicked up a bunch of gravel, which was pretty heavy. And Lewis just being completely blind and not seeing Lance Stroll on track. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. And then there was contact between Lando and Charles. I couldn't really tell who was at fault on that one, but normally they're pretty good friends, so I don't know where that could have stemmed from. But it was Carlos P1, Lando P2, and Charles P3. For qualifying, both Visa Cash App RBs and both Williams were out in Q1, along with K-Mag. In Q2, you had both Aston Martins and both Kick Saubers, along with Nico Hulkenberg out in Q2. And it was Lando Norris with his second career pole over Max Verstappen by 0.2 of a second. And so Max took P2 and Lewis P3. As for the race, George went from P4 to P1 in the first corner. Like, just around everybody. But Max got back to the lead on lap 3, so back to your regularly scheduled program. And then lap 16, just something, George had major lockup going into the pit lane, and Mercedes completely botched his pit stop. Then you had, really it was George and Lando that were battling for the podium positions. You had Alex Albon go through the gravel, but ultimately it was Max who won over Lando by 2 seconds, and I believe it was about 17 seconds over Lewis Hamilton. So Lewis got the 3rd place on the podium, which, so the way that I do the graphic is I do it based on how it's said. So the way that Lakota named off her 2 picks for last week, she said Charles first. If she would have said Lando first, she would have gotten the 2nd place on the podium correct.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What did Molly pick?
I said,
George.
yeah, Oscar and George.
Oh yeah, you said George. I thought you said Lewis, but you said George. You know, I think it's funny. Sometimes the order that we pick is completely right, and it's like IndyCar, we picked literally like the 3 that were right in the right order, basically. I think it's funny whenever that happens for F1,
Mm-hmm.
when somebody picks that for like 2nd, and then the other person. I think it's funny because sometimes we're right, and then sometimes we're like, none of us were even completely right at so whatsoever. I think it's funny.
But
Dang.
But yeah, so and something like, I don't know if anybody would know who this is, but there is an F1 content creator on TikTok. Her name is Joe, and huge George Russell fan. And she got invited to the Barcelona GP with Marriott Vonboy and Mercedes, like the actual Mercedes team. And she had lunch or dinner, I can't remember which one it was, with George Russell. Like, I'm so happy for her because she absolutely, like, hardcore loves George Russell. And
I think I know exactly who you're talking about because I think I follow her.
like, hold on. This girl. Oh gosh.
Yes. Wait.
Her name is Joe.
Yes, I follow her because she kept popping up on my For You page, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna follow you. Yes, I follow her on TikTok.
I love her. I'm connected with her on LinkedIn. Like, I love her so much. But yeah, so if you guys want to see the, like, ins and outs of being in the paddock club with Mercedes, go check out her TikTok. She posted a whole bunch over this past weekend from Barcelona. And it was just fun to see like people who actually like are interested in the sport and care about the sport to be invited like this. And so yeah, just so happy that she got to experience that. I was hoping that because she gotta backtrack it. She actually got invited to another event for WhatsApp and Mercedes. And Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff were there. So she's been in the like presence of Lewis Hamilton before. But
oh my gosh.
But I hope that there's footage of like her meeting George, because I want to see this interaction, like, because I know how much of a huge fan she is of George's. But I'm so happy that like people in our community who actually care like so much about this sport are getting to experience things like this. And like it's just, it makes like sponsors, like people like that, like who are helping these content creators who actually care about the sport into the sport, like it's so great. It's lovely to see. And I'm not just saying that because I hope to get there one day, but just say it. I'm already privileged as it is to go to as many NASCAR races as I do and experience them the way that I do. But like Formula 1, IndyCar, those completely new can of worms. Like I wouldn't even know what to do in the paddock. Just because like I'm so comfortable with like all the NASCAR people, like a lot of them know me, so I'd be just like, yo, what's up, like, but I wouldn't know anybody in IndyCar or Formula 1, so but yeah, so let's get on to this weekend. We have all 3 NASCAR series at Nashville, and then we also have the Red Bull Ring in Formula 1, and that's it. So we got 4 races this weekend. We got pretty star-studded field in the trucks for Nashville. We
get Boyer back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Brennan Queen.
That one I'm thrilled to see. Oh yeah, I forgot Brennan Queen. We're gonna be back.
Wait a second. It says to be announced under the 7. Isn't that Clint Boyer?
It's Boyer.
Okay. Maybe they just didn't update the app.
Because I think it's funny because Spire Motorsports tweeted and they said welcome back. They said welcome back, old friend, because they have the Rush trucks on their car, on his truck.
Okay.
I'm actually really excited for Boyer to be back because I think it's gonna be so interesting.
Rackley is running 2 trucks this weekend.
What?
The 25 and 26.
Oh. To be honest, I already have my picks. I didn't even look at literally any of this because I knew exactly who.
Got my picks too.
I mean, I think I'm gonna go a solid Ben Rhodes and Rajah Caruth. Oh gosh.
You took a long shot.
I mean, I'm gonna go. I am proud to say this name. I haven't said this name in forever. I'm going my boy Christian.
You haven't said his name in forever? You mean the last time that we picked trucks? Actually, I don't know if you picked him last time we did trucks, but like
100% I did pick him the last time. Then I don't even care because I want him again.
Okay,
and then I picked Christian and I picked Purdy.
Okay. So never mind. I'm not gonna say that. You probably have an idea of what I was about to say.
Yeah, you can tell me after.
Okay. All right, Molly, what's your picks?
Well, since you took my long shot, my winner is Corey. My long shot, I'll go with Taylor.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, you switched that up real quick.
Well, Sid took my long shot.
I know she did. As soon as she said Raja, I saw your face and I was like, I wonder if you had that for your long shot, because I think she just took it.
Okay. All right. Xfinity. Let's do this. Oh
Riley
God,
and
Ty
Sammy.
Gibbs.
What'd you?
I said Riley and Sammy.
I said
Okay.
Ty. For one of mine.
I almost said, oh my gosh, I almost said Ty. Molly, who'd you pick?
I got Jesse as my winner and Riley as my long shot.
All right,
Okay.
killer.
I'll go Ty Gibbs and Tyler Reddick.
I'm sorry. I
Just
don't like
because
Tyler
no,
Reddick.
see, that's the thing. Like, if I would never pick the Sam Hunt car if it was not backed by Yahoo. Because with them putting a big name driver and a big name sponsor, how do you think Corey actually had a good enough car to finish third? So that's the reason. That's the reason I'm going.
I mean, I can't blame you. Like, I mean, I really can't blame you. Because, I mean, Corey did fantastically well
But if
in that car.
But that's the thing. Before it was backed by Yahoo, the other times that he has run that car, it has never ran that well. Never.
Yeah.
Like you go back to what was that race? What was it, Darlington? That he was in it?
Maybe.
You don't even remember his name in that race because he was not running that well. So that is the reason I'm choosing that car.
I mean, it makes sense, so.
Okay, anyway, you said Riley and
Sammy.
okay, Molly, you said Riley and
No, I said
She said Jesse and Riley.
Jesse and Riley. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's the difference.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Her-
Dakota's
her-
winner is Riley, and then Molly's long shot is Riley.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Watch. You'll probably text in the group chat and be like, who had who again?
Well, so the thing, how I make all those graphics is I have all the episodes uploaded to post, and I'm able to watch them on my phone after they've been uploaded. So that's what I do whenever I'm making the graphic.
I love that. That's actually kind of fantastic. Pardon me.
You know, I'm gonna go a solid Chase Elliott for Nashville.
How cute. I'm gonna go a solid Alex Bowman.
My winner is Carson.
Okay. He's won Nashville in trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm picking my long shot as Corey because he's running in the 2311 car. He's driving in the 50 car.
Okay. Corey Heim. Okay.
This is definitely not a shocker. My long shot is Riley.
Did he run the 36? Oh, 15. He's in the 15.
15.
He's running the 15.
All right.
So Sid and I have teammates from the same for our winner, because you have Chase and I have Alex.
Okay. I was like, what do you mean teammates? I forgot who I picked. That quickly.
You picked Chase Elliott. Which
okay,
actually
I'll go Ross Chastain as my long shot because he's won too. So
which one?
has Alex won Nashville before?
He's been close.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
Okay.
He's won Vegas.
So at least at least one of our picks has won at Nashville before in any of the series. Because you have Carson, and he's won in trucks. I have Ross, and he's won in Cup. And then Molly has oh gosh,
I have Carson.
no. Oh, you have Corey. No.
I have Corey.
Okay.
I
Then-
have
then-
Corey.
so then it's
Molly
Molly
has
that-
Carson.
Yeah,
Okay,
Carson's my winner for the Cup race.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I have-
Carson's won in trucks.
Okay, so it's me who
Mhm.
has the double winners that have won in Cup in Nashville. And
Yeah,
then
which
Molly
funny-
has Carson that
Mhm.
has won in trucks.
Which, funny enough, I have Chase Elliott's win Nashville, like, little car.
So something that I'm actually kind of looking forward to is the paint scheme that Alex Bowman has. That I think looks pretty sick.
Honestly, Alex always has, like, the best paint schemes. But
Mhm.
they do it a whole lot better because Nashville's the Ally 400.
Yeah.
And that's Alex's sponsor, the Ally. So I love it. That and Dale Jr. created it,
Mhm.
did it. Which I think is cool. Which I always like. I always feel like if anybody's paint scheme's normally different, it's normally Alex because they always end up doing something completely not completely different, but like changes it like every so often, which I always like Alex's paint schemes for anything, actually. Because they always look good.
But, so, those are our NASCAR picks. Now we have to pick for Austria. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a fast car. I've ran, the Red Bull Ring is one of my favorite tracks. It's very fast. It's got medium to slow speed corners, but it's got long straights. And
I'm gonna go Charles and Lewis.
okay.
I said double McLaren. Double McLaren, and I said Oscar and then Lando.
Okay. You know what? I'll go opposite to Molly. I'll go Charles George. Or sorry, Carlos George.
Alrighty.
I think it's like other than like I'm trying to think of fast cars. And right now it's Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes. Like those are the four you're looking at.
Which, where the heck did Mercedes come from? Because, geez Louisa.
So yeah, I'll go Carlos George. And
Killer.
so all right. Well, that's it. You guys think of anything else? Oh, no, something I forgot to say. Haas got their first win in F1 Academy with Chloe Chambers. I read that going through our list and then I forgot to say it out loud. But yeah. Okay.
Killer.
Alrighty. I think that is it. So let's round it out. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for listening. However you enjoy our podcast. This has been the 20th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast. Oh, no, Molly. There you go. Lakota actually had it right for once.
I know. I remember.
I was going off Lakota.
Remember, don't go off at me because it's the opposite of me that it is for you. Anyways.
But, alright. You guys ready to sign off?
Let's do it.
Okay. It goes peace,
Peace.
love,
Hello.
and race cars.
Race cars. Meanwhile, you and I have small ones, and she has a big one.
Bro, I don't have any like full on dice cast. I have two big die casts in my car. You know what? Here. You know what? We'll redo it.
Oh shoot! Wait, that means. Wait.
Oh, no. Mine's gonna be a little different.
All right.
Yours is
BRB.
gonna be an F1 car.
That means.
I got an Indy car.
An Indy car.
Here, wait. Are we actually redoing it to where I put Lakota? You need what? You need your Lando car. Lakota, hold on. That's bolted. You need.
We good.
You need your Lando car.
My Lando car.
Yeah.
Oof. Bro, I literally forgot it was right here. Okay, we good.
Okay. All right. Let's try this again. It goes.
Wait, are we good?
Hold on.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
It's fine. We're good.
Okay.
Whatever.
Peace.
Peace.
Love.
Love.
And race cars.
I didn't take mine out of the box.
Bro,
It's so funny.
look, bro, signed
Wait.
by willpower.
Oh my gosh. We got this one. Oh my gosh.
Okay, all right, that's it. Good night, everybody.